Well, howdy, 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 Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, a brand new day of me casting about desperately for something to talk about while I process so that I can do my day properly. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching me flounder. I have no fan mail from some flounder, for I'm not an actual kind of flounder. My computer is driving me crazy. That's okay. It is 7:02 a.m. Saturday, the 23rd of September. I'm looking on the notification section of my Windows 10 Pro. I bought Windows 7, and so I was given, well, I didn't buy Windows 7. It was actually given to me, Windows 7 Ultimate. And so I love Windows 7. Nothing has been as good, especially Windows 10. But that's the way I keep in contact with the world, with the time and the date and all. Past that, I don't know what time or day it is. I don't have a watch. My watch died in the middle of my marriage to my wife, and we just never bought me another one. And so now I don't use a watch. And so the only real way I know what time it is like my computer, or if I'm away from this, my tablet. Well, my wife's tablet, my late wife's tablet. She had a Kindle Fire HD, a little 7-inch Kindle Fire HD. And it's, you know, it's not 1920 by 1080. I've got a Barnes & Noble Nook HD Plus with a 32 gigabyte card that you can put into it. Big deal. But it's really good. It's a 10-inch screen, and that is a 1920 by 1080. It's high tech. It was back when Barnes & Noble was still making them. Now they don't, and it's third parties only, but still, thumbs up on that. So yeah, I desperately cast about for things to talk about during my morning vlogging here. Because yes, I use this time to process. When I don't process, I'm in trouble. I'm a talker. I've got to talk stuff out. My entire life I've been a talker. Talk. I talk twice as much, if not more, than my wife ever did. She learned early on in our marriage that all she really had to do was just keep this ear open, and make appropriate noises every once in a while as the words flowed through. So that worked out. And it was good. I talked a lot. Toward the end, neither of us talked so much. She was exhausted, and I was having a lot of depression / personality issues because of the pressure of watching my wife die in front of my eyes over a 10-year period, because that's what happened. 2 years into our marriage, well, I gotta give more. My wife had a horrible life. When she was young, you know, like, she's been dead for 3 years now, but she died at 41. So when she was a kid, she was 9 years younger than I was. In the 70s, she got Hodgkin's lymphoma. And she had huge grapefruit-sized tumors, like on her neck and on her elbow and stuff like this. And none of the doctors listened to her because she was just a girl and her mother was just a woman. Why would you listen to them? And so nobody took any of this stuff seriously until finally one doctor went, okay, I think that's Hodgkin's lymphoma. And son of a gun, it was. Finally listened. And so they did exploratory surgery when I married her, right below her sternum, down to her pubic bone. She had this huge scar that ran down her belly because they'd done exploratory surgery on her as a teenager to make sure that they got all the tumors. And so she had that, and she'd had all these various things. She was, 16 when she had heart surgery. Well, not heart surgery, the exploratory surgery. And so she actually got a heart infection because she was a 16-year-old doing what 16-year-olds do, living as a teenager, and got an infection from that before she could fully heal up. But she did, and by the time I met her, when she was almost 30, she'd been living on so many medications, it wasn't even funny. I mean, without Medicare and Medicaid in the United States, she would have died a long time before she had, because her medications were over $100 a day, and toward the end, a lot of her meds were individually over $100 a day each. But she was on a ton of medications to keep her alive. And as I hung around with her and followed her around like a lovesick puppy until we actually started dating, she told me about the stuff that was going on in her life. And then as we started dating, she told me, you know, eventually I'm going to need heart surgery because you can listen to the swooshing murmur in my heart as the valves are failing. And so I knew going in there was going to be trouble. We just both thought it would be a lot later. Because 2 years into our marriage, her heart valves started failing very, very badly. Very, very quickly. And it was with the birth of our second child, not even 2 years into our marriage, she had to be in the University of Washington hospital for months because she went into early labor and she couldn't stop. And so what they had to do is keep you there so they can monitor you, keep your body calm so that you don't go into labor and deliver your child at like 3 months. And even as it was, finally the umbilical cord wrapped around her son in such a way that they had to do a fast emergency cesarean birth right then, or the baby was going to die and then she was going to die. She was 168 miles away. They called me on the phone. I told everyone at work, she's in trouble. They loved her at work. They loved me where we worked. They loved the both of us together as a couple. They thought we were the cutest things since, well, Beanie Babies and puppies. I was actually at one point while wooing her, neglecting my job to be around with her at the job site. She was a nurse. I was a nurse's aide. I hung around her instead of doing my work. Everybody thought it was cute. So I was damned lucky. But eventually, because, try to remember where we were. Okay, with the child, I told them I gotta go. They said, you go now. And so I grabbed our son, who's in Montana now. I consider him my son, even though not biologically. And we drove quickly down there. And then I made it in time to be there at the birth of my son. I saw both my daughter and my son being born cesarean. I was there, both of them. Weirdest thing in the world, watching a cesarean birth, having them pull open your wife and then pop a baby out that way. And then after the second birth, to make sure that she was not going to have any more kids, we had first got her tubes tied. Whoa, it's the insides of the female body are amazing. Because when they have to cut your tubes, which is, they actually use fire. They use fire and they cauterize your fallopian tubes. Just burn them off. So, what they did was, after they cut her open right just above the pubic bone, which is where they do the incision, they took a great big hook on this side, a great big hook on the bottom, pulled her open, then just reached in and went poink, and her uterus just came boom, right out. It wasn't even attached. The only place that it was attached to her body was, you know, when it becomes the cervix and the birth canal. That part was hooked, but her uterus, the womb just went poink and popped right out. And so they just went bzz, bzz, and then pump, put it right back in. That was a surprise. I didn't expect to see that, but it was amazing. But so I was there for the birth of both kids. But after that, because she was in such bad shape, there was a struggle to get her healed up from the cesarean so that they could do the heart surgery. And even at that, it was very, very close. Well, on the very, very day that they did surgery, the surgeon came out to me afterward and said it was close. Her heart was a massive scar tissue. It was much smaller than it should have been for a woman her age and size. She was always heavy. Not hugely, grossly obese, but she was heavy. And so they went and did as much as they could, but they said even one more day. She was dying on the table. One more day, it wouldn't have mattered. So they got her fixed up just in time. And then I spent the next 10 years watching her slowly dwindle from an active, independent woman to somebody that I had to push in a wheelchair from the sofa down to the bathroom, help her stand up and help her sit. When she eventually ended up dying, we took her down to the University of Washington to see about a transplant list to see if she could be on the transplant list. While we were there, they took a look at her physical condition and said, we need to admit you. You're in very, very bad shape. And so she was there for a while. And while she was there, they discovered she had gone septic from a urinary tract infection as well. They put her on a whole bunch of antibiotics that she wasn't supposed to be on. But if they didn't put her on those, the UTI would have killed her. So they had to put her on that. She came home on hospice. She gave up in the hospital and said, I'm coming home to die. While she was there, in the 2 weeks that she was alive, I got to watch her catheter stop producing any urine at all. Her kidneys shut on down, and then she died. And that was rough. And so now I've got her Kindle Fire HD. No, it's not even in HD. It's just a Kindle Fire. I don't like to keep a whole bunch of stuff around that reminds me of her, because otherwise I'm just going to freaking cry all day. So I've got most of the stuff that I've kept of hers hidden away, except for some things that I put out, because otherwise I'm just going to start crying every time I see them. But things like her Kindle Fire, I've got no problems using that. It's in the original case that she had. It doesn't bother me to use it. It's just a connection from her to me. Very, very good thing. I actually didn't mean to talk about this for so long, but you really needed to know the full, and even now you don't have the full background, but you needed to know more of what was going on with my wife's life. I mean, she was walking a razor's edge for the full 10 years that, well, I mean, even before that, she was walking on a razor's edge even before, because she was on so many diuretics, water pills, that it was any one of them, she was on like 4. Any one of them, the dose that she was on would have killed anyone else. Your kidneys would have died. But she was on 4 of them on frightening doses, and they were constantly adjusting them because her kidneys don't give her enough diuretics, her kidneys are going to die because they're failing. Give her too much, her kidneys are going to die because, well, you take that kidney medication and they work too hard and it kills them. So we had to be adjusting it. She was always walking a balancing act on this, just on the very sharp edge of a razor. Just from that, when you take diuretics, even the potassium-sparing diuretics, you have to take the occasional potassium supplement, like 10 milliequivalents. Potassium is such a nutrient that you don't need much of it at all. And she was taking, normally you take 1 tablet of those because it's a micronutrient. But she was taking 8 to 10 of those daily, and she was still always low. It was terrifying. But there was so much wrong. She was on so many medications to keep her alive, and in the end, something was going to do it. She was she was going wildly from side to side on the razor's edge toward the end. Her balance was gone, and we were struggling to just keep her on the wire, and she fell. The human body is an amazingly complex machine. So much can go wrong. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab, which everybody who has a YouTube account has a Creator Studio. Inside the Creator Studio is the Community tab, which is just the, your comment sections. I'm opening up 24 hours worth of comments so I can go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me comments. Now, if I mispronounce your names, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker. We're not good at foreign names, so I do my best. And if you'd like a shout out, just ask for it. If I catch it, I'll give it to ya. And, you know, I'm not reading the comments now. I'm going to answer as many as I can, thumbs up everyone I read. But right now, I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. Whether it's a good comment, a bad comment, a different comment, it's all the same to me right now. Thank you for having left that comment. You get me out of my head, especially now after talking about my wife's life this long, and back into the real world dealing with actual people. So thank you very, very much. So let's start with Ice Damon, thank you very, very much. And Christopher Kane, thank you very much. Oscar Armstrong, thank you, greatly appreciated. Cheap Pig 111, thank you very much, greatly appreciated. Mateus Bulger, thank you, greatly appreciated, thank you. Young Paco, thank you, greatly appreciated. I know I say greatly appreciated a whole lot, but it's greatly appreciated. I just don't know a whole bunch of different words that mean the same thing when you're just saying thank you is greatly appreciated 25 times. But thank you very much. Archaea FCL3, thank you. And Jacob Roblox RBLX, thank you very, very much. And then I3AEIE3, thank you very, very much. And then there is Top Quan 25, thank you, greatly appreciated. Psychotic Slut, how about that? Thank you very, very much. Magnus Rorvik, it actually looks like an Icelandic O, so thank you. Suki Karai, I hope I'm close, thank you very, very much. Wolf Perry, thank you, greatly appreciated. Aldin, ALDYNN, thank you. Dark Zone RVB, thank you, greatly appreciated. And Sean Leonard, thank you very, very much. Wolfskin, thank you very much. James O'Brien, I am just terrible at coming up with things to actually think of today. Just say, other than thank you is greatly appreciated. Thank you. It is greatly appreciated. And Dylan, DILLON, thank you very, very much. I had to come back to this one. My eye caught it. It made me laugh. You're a pillock. Thank you very, very much. Great. I know you're not saying that to me. That's just your name. It's just making me laugh. That's awesome. And then there's Fallen Angel 8X. Thank you. Stannis Baratheon. Thank you very, very much. And then last but not least, Masaki Posey. Thank you very, very much. It is, as stated, greatly appreciated. Get me out of my head, into the real world, and so thank you very much. Now, I used to give greetings, where I used to say good morning to everybody in as many languages as I used to. I've been experimenting with ways to keep my vlog monetized. Back when I used to say good morning in all these languages, every single one got demonetized even faster than now that I don't do that. So that's why I don't say good morning. That's why I changed my title cards. I'm trying desperately to stay monetized. I love to keep saying good morning. I think it is awesome that I have such a huge number of people in like Brazil that are fans. Thank you so much. It is so appreciated. I wish YouTube wasn't making us cast about desperately to ways to stay monetized. If you take a look at the terms of service where they keep saying, if you want your video to be ad-friendly, look at this. It is so vague. Normal human speech violates the terms of service. So when they keep saying, look at that, that explains it to you. That's like saying, what is color? I'm colorblind. Can you explain what color is to me? And they go, sure. Look at this rainbow chart over here. That's the colors. Now leave me alone. It doesn't work. It's like, that's colors. It's one solid shade of the same color of gray. What are you talking about? And it's like, well, it's all right there on the card. Just look at the card. So thank you. If you could check my links, that would be awesome. Greatly appreciated. I got like Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, nope. Google Plus, that's what it is, and then my blog. I went and counted incorrectly. My sincere apologies. My thanks to everybody who has donated to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron. If you could donate, that would be awesome. I'm minus 300 in my checking, and that means I don't even have enough money to pay the rent next month. If you could donate, that would be awesome. But if you cannot donate or you do not donate, I take all good wishes, deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you. If you could toss me a like, that would be appreciated. I do appreciate all the positive validation for my existence. I gotta stop using the word appreciate. I need a different word. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be cool. But if you don't want to, I actually understand. My personality has rubbed people wrong my whole life. But if you do, then darn straight, I'll do my best to keep you entertained from now until the literal end of time. I have a reaction video coming up, one game video at least for this channel, hopefully another video for my game channel, hopefully. So you take care, have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing.